My guest today is Willéne Fouché, the Chief Operating Officer from SEFEKO. Willéne, welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection with SEFEKO.
Well, Andre, I am an industrial engineer by trade, which means my passion is continuous improvement. So I love to make sure that things are always working better and faster and more efficient. In my role as COO of SEFEKO, I basically look after the supply chain. So I need to make sure that the supply chain can produce the most effective and highest quality product that we can. So my team and I, we look after everything from sourcing to procurement, inventory management. We look at the production of our products, which is new, but also all of the distribution to our clients. We look after recycling, salvaging, and then all of the reverse logistics as well.
Sure, that's a mouthful. So what unique value does SEFEKO bring to your field?
I think in terms of my world, what's unique in what SEFEKO offers to their field is we always have products available. So we work very hard to make sure that our supply chain is very lean and very short, which means we always have a product available if our clients need one, and we might even have an extra one on charge just in case.
And what excites you about the future of SEFEKO?
Well, what excites me the most is we've spent the last year, for instance, a lot of effort and time in bringing our production capabilities in-house into SEFEKO. So we're at a point now where we've built a full production facility of our own at SEFEKO, at our offices in Pretoria, which means we've been able to keep our quality measures very close because we have SEFEKO technicians that are building SEFEKO products. So we look over everything. We're procuring our own parts, we're procuring our components, we are building them in our facility. We look at them, we look at all the quality aspects in our own facility, which means we can measure and adjust very quickly when we see something is out of spec. So that brings great capabilities to us as well.
So you mentioned a new part is creating your own intellectual property.
Yes.
What are some of the highlights of creating intellectual property?
Well, for me, it always comes back to the clients. And when you can see something that we've dreamed of, where we can see there's a need in the market, which the clients are using, and they're using it right and they're using it well, and you can see the benefits that it basically brings to them as well as their clients, that always excites me. In my world is always Gendac has built our whole testing facility. So it's exactly that. When we need something to make sure that our quality measures are intact, it's there, and Gendac has developed and created that capabilities for us in our own testing facility as well.
But I'm sure there's some challenges as well with creating intellectual property.
Definitely. No, like with anything, especially in the industry we work in, there's a lot of things and problems to solve. And I think the biggest hurdle is always when you're developing IP and digital IP is to not solve all the problems all at once. So keeping the team and keeping everyone focused and trying to stay away from too much scope creep is always a challenge, because we can and we want to solve all the problems that exist. So keeping everyone focused and making sure that you're strategically working on the right things for what SEFEKO needs, that definitely remains a challenge.
And how has Gendac helped to resolve the complexity of creating digital IP?
I think what Gendac was very good at is they're very good at navigating complexities in the digital IP world. So they know the hurdles, they've tried and tested methodologies that they basically can break down into smaller parts and make the complex just so much easier to navigate and overcome and understand. So they're very good at taking a complex thing, breaking it down, listening to what we need as SEFEKO and what our strategy needs to move forward, and basically taking it one step at a time to make sure we do it and we do it right the first time.
And how has Gendac's technical expertise helped your team to stay focused on your mission-critical projects?
I think for us, because they understand that world so much better than we do, we were able to fully trust them in this relationship by making sure that they have all they need from us. They can go ahead with that, and we can focus as SEFEKO on our strategic alignment, on our strategic decisions, and basically make sure that we get the best quality product to our client and service. So they were a very good extension of our own team in terms of their collaboration and their constant feedback loop back to us on challenges that we see, something we might have not seen coming, and bringing the best product basically forward for us to use.
And what are your impressions of engaging with Gendac's management team?
The Gendac leadership team is very good at what they do. They, again, have tested methodologies and ways of working that work. They know what to bring to the table. We are very fortunate where they're just across the road from us. So my experience with them was always, if there's something that we don't understand, if there's something that we need insight in, we can walk across the road and there's always someone here. There's always someone that can give us an answer. And even if it's not the first person you meet, we make the plans and they make the plans to get the answers back to us. So yeah, we're very good interaction with them.
And your impressions of your team's collaboration with the Gendac team?
The same. I think because we work in such a nice way together, we engage quite well. They can come to us. They've engaged with our clients before we even started the projects. They've engaged with our clients. They went to sites. They went to control rooms. They tried to understand how our product will be used. The same for us in-house as well with our production facility. They came to sit with our technicians. How will this be used? How are we going to implement it? What do we want to see? So the team also, they have a very good notion on taking feedback back from us, resolving conflicts if there are, and basically allowing us to again, focus on what we need to do. So I was more than happy to trust them completely with what they had to do.
Are there any specific highlights that you would like to mention?
Well, finding just one is difficult. I mean, talking over crystal clear PTT over cellular the first time was definitely a highlight. But for me, it was also specifically more earlier in the project when we got to hold the first 3D print of our product. You know, you make a lot of decisions and you go through a lot of iterations beforehand. What will work best? But once you hold that form factor correct product in your hand, you know, it just makes the whole concept very real. And I think from there on, it was like, okay, this is happening. We are there. We can, you know, we're building and we're producing something brand new that we haven't seen before. That was quite exciting.
And finally, do you have a word of advice for the industry regarding your journey of being digital leaders?
Yes, definitely. Well, for the private security industry, my advice would be to not just see technology and digital IP as a tool, but rather as a strategic enabler. You know, embracing technology is not just adding new tools to your ecosystem. You know, it's about, you need to force leadership in those positions to do a mind shift in terms of making sure to make user-centric design decisions, making sure you have data that prove the decisions that you want to make are true, and continuously innovating on what technology can offer you. It's about making sure that there's effective collaboration between what technology gives, but what your operational teams are also doing. So the leadership is at the forefront of this journey, and they basically need to make sure that they invest in their skills of their people to use the technology they've got to make better decisions, because the industry of asset and people protection is evolving, and it will be the technically digital base-led companies that will be at the forefront of handling those challenges head on.
Willéne, thank you very much for joining the conversation, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Belinda.